Hi, I'm Emma. I'm the founder of Kintsugi Clothing, a fashion brand that makes on-trend women's wear that is useful and accessible for disabled people. So our garments can be worn by anyone, but they are designed using suggestions from across the disabled community to make sure their needs are being met. So this is different from a lot of high street fashion that we see where disability is either an afterthought or it's simply not considered at all. So why is it important? Well, there are over 13 million disabled people in the UK, and when you speak to people with an impairment, it becomes apparent that clothing can present unnecessary challenges that can be aided or eliminated by using universal design. So that is to say, designing a product or service so that it is as useful to as many people as possible, regardless of age, size, gender, disability, or any other kind of difference. So one of the examples I often use when it comes to fashion is the pockets that we have. So if you're wearing jeans, especially as a woman, your pockets are probably at hip level, which is fine if you're standing up, but if you're sitting down or in a wheelchair, they become quite useless, to be honest. They're kind of redundant, and anything that you place inside the pocket can press against you. Another example is buttons, especially when they're at the nape of the neck, that as they often are on a lot of women's tops. This is, for people with conditions like Parkinson's, MS, arthritis, a visual impairment, and any other kind of impairment that limits your upper body mobility or any dexterity challenges. This can be a problem. In fact, it can also be a problem if you're not disabled. So that's really the importance of inclusive fashion. For retailers that might be a little bit cynical, it's worth pointing something out. It's thought that the collective spending power of disabled people is worth 249 billion to the UK economy. And I also want to quote Lottie Jackson here, the journalist Lottie Jackson. So she's pointed out that, I'll read her quote here, "Fashion is a powerful way to explore identity, culture, and to celebrate our differences. Despite the fact that 20% of people in the UK have disabilities, disabled models are largely absent from fashion campaigns and catwalks. When brands look to improve disability representation, it's essential that they include those with disabilities in the process." So inclusive fashion can be achieved through small considerations. So what kind of fabric are you using? How does it feel against the skin? What's the waistband like? Will it accommodate fluctuations in size or size changes caused by inflammation? Are there internal labels? How will people with sensory or skin sensitivity issues feel when those labels are rubbing against their skin? For physical stores, obviously Kintsugi is just online only at the moment, but for physical stores there are a lot of considerations that should be taken into account as well. So changing rooms, are they accessible? Is there enough room between clothing racks for a wheelchair to get through? Are the racks really high up? Is all the clothing, can people see them? Can people reach them? At the point of payment, does the card machine come away from the till or not? Can someone of short stature reach that payment point when they come to pay? What's the entrance to the store like? Do you have any ramps? Do you have any trained staff who are trained to assist people with disabilities? On this point, I would urge retailers to look into Neatbox, Neatebox, which is an app designed to improve the interactions between customer service and disabled customers. So we live in a society now where people are crying out for better representation across all areas. So for companies like Kintsugi and others like them who are really paving the way, disabilities is so important because it's so often overlooked. And on that point, I just wanted to quote Karen Hitzelberger, who she's an activist, and she said in an interview, "Just because I'm physically disabled doesn't mean I don't have my own style, and fashion can't be something that I care about." So fashion really is and should be for everybody. This is something that we believe in and that people are asking for, and I think that is the importance of inclusive fashion.